Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Stellaris Lore, where we take a look at some of the features getting added into the next update, which will be 1.8. Now this update is already sounding rather exciting. There'll be lots of new features as well as a fair few fixes coming to the whole hive mind situation, which was left in a bit of a strange place, to say the least, from the Utopia expansion. Let us start with Dev Diary number 72. Yes, that's right, they're at number 72 with these things. That's pretty crazy considering the game's been out for about a year. Now, this first dev update focuses mostly on the wonderful endgame crises that we all know and love, most notably the significant weaker AI rebellion. It's getting a lot added to it. However, first they need to make an important AI update to the crisis and the AI. So basically, the AI is now going to focus more on expanding and less on slow defense and knocking out your stations, because that was rather boring to say the least. So the other AI empires are also being coded to realize just how much of a danger they're in, and that will influence their desire to attack and defend against any crises. Anyway, let's look at the new addition to replace the AI rebellion. It's called the contingency. Now, not too much is known about them yet, but they are effectively added to explain why the AI rebellion is so strong and putting them on par with the rest of the invaders, when in comparison synthetics of your own aren't as powerful. The AI is also going to focus less on blowing up your stations and more on making gigantic death fleets that you stand no chance of surviving. There'll be the same synth infiltration, however it will be toned down just a little bit. Anyway, back to the contingency. We don't have that much information yet, however as soon as it is released you can count on a full lore video. All that we know at the moment is that the contingency are an ancient race of AI who have been dormant for many years. Their aim is to purge the galaxy of all upper life forms and synthetic beings. Now, these guys start off somewhere hidden in the galaxy, broadcasting a weak signal that will alter all robots and synthetics in different ways. Now, this is very exciting, as we could see things like robot suicide bombings, robots escaping, or perhaps robots attempting to seize control of the government. Now, the aim is to couple internal destruction with the gigantic AI fleet of the contingency to increase the speed of sterilization in the galaxy. Yes, quite scary to say the least. Now, the contingency could be related to the Cybrix precursor, and I feel Paradox would benefit by linking the two, but who knows, maybe that will get explained later. Now, on to Dev Diary number 73, that is looking into improvements with habitability and terraforming. Now, there is not too much to talk about lore-wise, however there are a few interesting things happening here that I can summarize rather well. Basically, planet types are more likely to specialize in producing a few or one type of resources. For example, wet places like you when you listen to these videos, continental planets, ocean planets, and tropical planets are more likely to produce food and society. Frozen climates like my cold, dead British heart, along with alpine planets, tundra planets, and arctic planets, are more likely to produce minerals and engineering. Dry climates like the UK in this freakish week of European weather, desert planets, savanna planets, and arid planets are more likely to generate energy and physics. Gaia worlds, however, are likely to produce a balanced amount of each of these resources. Now, I am very excited for this change, as it requires a more widespread strategy and should benefit a mechanist empire early on in the game. I would recommend starting with a desert preference planet and then sending your robots to mine on mineral-rich frozen worlds whilst your people work the power stations that are used to fuel the robots. Anyway, on to the next one. Dev Diary number 74. This is where things get quite interesting. This one is focusing on gene modification. Now, this is genuinely something I'm very hyped up for because it works well with the new planet specialization mentioned in number 73. Basically, for this update, we are seeing a brand new solution to the mess that is creating a modified species. So now you simply make a template called Blorg Desert or Cold Blorg, who can mine faster, and you just mass produce types of blorgs of that scale and send them to your cold planets or your warm planets or wherever you want them to go. Anyway, that's about it for this diary. There wasn't too much, so let's move on to the robots. Say hello to Dev Diary number 75 with a new introduction to the game. This is the brand new Story Pack DLC that will be coming alongside the 1.8 update. Now there are no names for it yet, however it is likely to focus on more robotic sci-fi stories, considering that this update, 1.8, is called Capek or Capek. Whatever it is, it's in Russian probably. It's got this like strange thing above the C in the A, I think. No one understands it apart from them. Anyway, this update is named after the chap who first came up with the word robot. Yep, this guy made it like several hundred years ago. Quite interesting, well done mate. And his brother ended up throwing it into a play, and that was what kind of normalized it into society. So very interesting. Anyway, this new story pack looks very interestingly at a fallen empire called the Ancient Caretakers. Now these guys have a lot of potential lore, and I am excited to see what the story will be for them. They are synthetics that were all involved in a great conflict of the past that we don't know much about yet, but I'm sure we'll get told once it gets released. Now these machines are part of something called the Custodian Project. This is a plan to construct several ring worlds, and the caretakers here have to look after them and protect them. Now they provide safe haven to sapient or human-like life forms, so kind of what we humans originated from, so maybe there's a bit of a story going on there. Anyway, these sentient life forms are fleeing some kind of unknown menace that could be the Hunters, it could be a disease, it might be the Blorg. Wait, actually, imagine if the Blorg were an endgame crisis. Now, that is something I want to see added to the game. Anyway, these machines are shown to be behaving strangely. They don't show you their opinion, and their stance is simply mysterious. The other screenshot shows what happens if the Empire awakens. The machines just simply scream error and presumably set about protecting their ring worlds by destroying the entire galaxy. It should be noted that these guys can only awaken from a certain event chain that will be part of the story. Either way, I cannot wait to get into this brand new story pack. And onto the latest dev diary, number 76. Now it's more about a fixing and tweaking update. The team have taken a look at the Hive minds and noticed that a few of the names and interactions do not really make sense. For example, why would a Hive mind empire have private colony ships? That just doesn't really make sense. Anyway, it's a good balance, but other than that, not too much else. Oh yeah, also Hive minds no longer research administrative AI, because that doesn't really make sense. They have an alternatively named thing. And hive minds as a species can keep livestock until you eat them. So if you have a large quantity of non-hive minds, just keep them on a planet, have them as livestock, or alternatively you can convert them into being hive-minded beings. Now that's actually quite interesting. You could simply drop down onto a planet, convert it all, and you have an entire workforce at your disposal. Of course this will cost and might require a bit more balancing and tweaking, but I really do like the idea of this for 1.8, and it's free, which is marvellous. Anyway, that concludes my input into the upcoming 1.8 update. If you want a more detailed analysis about actual gameplay changes, then go watch Aspec's videos about each individual dev diary. Yes, he does every single one. Kinda crazy. If you want the same but for Hearts of Iron 4, then I would recommend Feedback Gaming. He does a good breakdown of the Hearts of Iron 4 dev diaries as well, so if you want a bit more about the statistics and what's going on in that game, then give that a watch. So, what do we want for Sunday's video? Give me a comment down below and I'll get right into its production. Perhaps you would like a giant death worm, don't mind looking into those, or perhaps the many gigantic stations like the artists and the musicians. What are they doing there? Why are they there? Or what about the space nomads? Why do the nomads want to settle a planet in your borders? That's a bit interesting. Maybe we can find out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one. Hello and well done for reaching the end of the video. I'd just like to say thank you to my 4 patrons at the moment: Alex Williams, Connor Palmer, Moaz and Pokerface147. All of you are brilliant chaps and you really make my job just a bit easier. Well, it's not even a job. Anyway, so the money that you give me goes straight back into the community, and we make sure to hand it out to other worthy creators. Thank you very much, and I hope you continue your support.